So good afternoon, everyone. Before I begin, I would like to thank all of you for being here. But I especially want to thank our SUNY trustee, Eunice Lewin, and the members of the University Council, and our foundation board members, and all of our friends of Buffalo State University who have joined us today. Now, when Chancellor King asked me to come back to Buffalo State last May, I had a bit of hesitation. You all now know how I flunked retirement. But when I realized the significance of the task facing my beloved institution, I had no other answer except yes. The 22 years that I spent at this wonderful place before retirement were some of the most professionally exhilarating and productive years of my career. I made so many friends and found colleagues that I am still connected with to this day. So when he asked me to come back for 7 months, I said yes. No sweat, I can do 7 months. And when he later asked me to stay for the remainder of the 23-24 academic year, I said yes again. And then, when he asked me about extending my time beyond the year, I said, let's talk. And as you know, that conversation ended in a commitment that I would lead Buffalo State University for 2 more years until June 2026. Thank you. Now, even though I gave the chancellor a little hard time, the fact of the matter is I was hooked. I was already all in. I was absolutely invested in and committed to leading this institution as we face our challenges head on, continue our progress forward to repositioning ourselves to be SUNY's premier comprehensive university, and to reaffirm our role as Buffalo's university. Now, that's a lot to do in 1 year, but in 3 years, I am anticipating that we together will make great progress. So I am honored to continue to serve you as your president until June 2026. Colleagues, please know that I am here, ready and prepared to stand alongside of you as we make very tough decisions, but ones that will definitely chart a brighter future for our beloved Buffalo State University. I thank the Chancellor and his staff at SUNY for their unwavering commitment to Buffalo State, and I look forward to continuing this supportive and collaborative relationship. I am also very appreciative of the shared governance structure of our University Council, our College Senate, Foundation Board, Professional Staff Caucus, and our collective bargaining partners. I am just so inspired about how we have worked together to set the path to create a more sustainable, robust, and effective institution. I am also extremely appreciative of the support of our legislators and our governor for the recently enacted state budget that not only helps us recognize the efforts of our amazing faculty and staff, but also provides much-needed support systems to our students. This historic state investment in public higher education represents the largest 2-year allocation of support in at least 5 decades. It helps us to create a strong, forward-thinking plan that will help Buffalo State to achieve the goals set out before us. Thanks to last year's state budget, SUNY provided Buffalo State with a $5.3 million increase, and that about 25% boost in direct state tax support. And this year, we got an additional $2.8 million, or nearly 11% on top of last year's increase. Now, this is not only a vote of confidence in a strong, sustainable future for Buffalo State, but also it's essential for us to create a realistic, forward-thinking fiscal stability plan. Now, the purpose of this meeting today is to provide an update on the university's financial situation. I'm going to announce some additional immediate actions, and I would like to present our strategic vision for the future. We began 2023-24 with a structural deficit of $16.5 million. The plan we originally submitted to SUNY proposed that we would primarily reduce that deficit through workforce management over a 5-year period, which started July 1st, 2023. The primary strategy that we were proposing was to achieve this through attrition. In the first 10 months of the plan, however, we have not seen the level of attrition that we anticipated, but we have actually experienced some increases in our revenues, which will help us move towards our 5-year goal. The 12-month rolling hiring freeze that was implemented in November 2023 has given us some gains, but not at the level expected. And this is partially due to the lag between when an employee leaves the institution and when they come off the payroll. Those two dates are not simultaneous. We will be providing a complete financial analysis of year 1 of our structural deficit at the end of this fiscal year and every fiscal year thereafter on June 30th. And this year it'll be June 30th, 2024. Moving forward, we will continue to focus on attrition and the hiring freeze, and we will approach more aggressively 3 primary areas: increasing and stabilizing enrollment, reducing our overall operating costs. And let me just stop here and say, why are we in Bulger 215 having this conversation? Because we had committed other spaces, our sports arena and our Performing Arts Center in Rockwell Hall, to outside groups who are actually paying to use that space. Okay? So, you know, this is like, we got a whole bunch of balls we got to keep up here in the air. So we were not going to remove them from the areas that they were. And that's how we also demonstrate our commitment to our community. And the final point in my 3 points is that we are optimizing our workforce. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. However, none of this can be accomplished without also leaning aggressively, and more aggressively than we have in the past, into our strengths. So colleagues, I invite you to join me on this journey to help overcome our challenges, seize on opportunities, and control our destiny. With the support of elected officials, our state university leadership, our community partners, and our Buffalo State family, we will come roaring back to a university that meets the aspirations and expectations of our students and the needs of our community here and statewide. Friends, supporters, and colleagues, my strategic vision for Buffalo State University is to be the premier comprehensive university in the SUNY system by 2030. To that end, we must capitalize on our historic strengths and align our efforts with the emerging needs here in Buffalo, Western New York, across New York State, and beyond. That's how we're going to have to make this vision a reality. Through our 150-plus year history, we have excelled in the areas of access to education from K through 16. Our alumni, I should say, that's plural, alumni are the teachers of Western New York. that educated and helped create the middle class of Buffalo over a century ago. Today, there is a new challenge as we face a pending teacher shortage in the coming years with anticipated mass retirements across the board in urban, suburban, and rural school districts in our state. We will rise to the challenge and again expand our role as a leader with the creation of new teacher education pipelines in this area. We will build on some of our recent successes, including the Majority Leader Crystal Peoples-Stokes My Brother's Keeper initiative, which we've been funded for several years, as well as our Urban Teacher Academy. Our science, innovation, and technology infrastructure is, in our opinion, unmatched among SUNY peers. We are primed to create hubs that will develop the workforce needed to realize the vision of the nationally designated technology corridor, which is spearheaded by Senator Schumer, here from Syracuse to Rochester and on over to here in our part of Western New York. Our unique programs focused on applied learning across the STEM areas will make us a leader in this effort. We are also in the epicenter of arts, culture, and tourism with our very own Birchville Penny Arts Center, the expanded AKG Art Gallery, the Richardson Olmsted Complex, the Architectural Museum, and so much more on and surrounding our campus. With our long history of art education, art and design, art conservation, and hospitality, I believe we are perfectly positioned to leverage these historic investments. Furthermore, I see us reviving an educational pipeline with the University at Buffalo. We would prepare the bachelor's and the master's students to move seamlessly into PhD programs at UB. Now, for those of you that are not as old as I am, you should know this was once a thriving enterprise with our joint exceptional education program. So this is proven. This is something that we've done and we've done well, and we believe we can do it again and expand it. Finally, the creation of our very first doctorate for creative studies. Where's Dr. Puccio? I saw him somewhere. Okay, all right. For a doctorate for creative studies is under review at SUNY for implementation. Now, as you know, Buffalo State is the pioneering academic program. We hold that in the field of creativity education. The term brainstorming has its origins here at Buffalo State, and we have taught creativity, creative problem solving, and change leadership for more than half a century. The formation of this first doctoral program and the opening of the Center for Applied Imagination in Butler Library will once again put us on top of the field of creativity, not just in SUNY or in New York State, but in the world. We will carry on our tradition in this work into the next century and beyond. This is the kind of thinking and action that will ensure Buffalo State's long-term financial viability, keep us in control of our destiny, and allow us to reimagine and invest in our future. Buffalo State is not going anywhere. Thank you. We will remain one of the best options for post-secondary students in Western New York and beyond. So we're going on to increasing and stabilizing enrollment. Let's talk about that for a second. As you know, our enrollment has declined by 42% over the last decade. Attending to our enrollment issues will require several approaches to implement a holistic plan. Students from Western New York continue to represent the largest percentage of our overall enrollment, and we will continue to focus in this area through a coordinated variety of approaches and initiatives, some of which include a very intensive outreach to our local K through 12 schools, through high school recruiting visits, events. I'm trying to work now to get the Buffalo Public School counselors to have their next professional development meeting here. We'll have a captive audience. Get ready, get your signs ready, get everything ready, so we can let them know just how great we are if we can make this work. We do have some dual enrollment and dual credit programs that we're working with in the high schools that we will continue to increase, and that's suburban, rural, and urban schools. Early middle college, we have a great agreement with the Buffalo Public Schools there, and at this point I will tell you that the Buffalo Public School superintendent, the president of Erie Community College, and myself have recreated a breakfast club. Hold on. And so once a month, this is not in the script, okay. So once a month, we meet for breakfast on a Saturday morning, because that's really the only time we have. And we sit down for a couple of hours and we talk about the different kinds of initiatives and programs that would help us keep that pipeline moving from high school into our community colleges and then on to Buffalo State, or maybe from high school to Buffalo State. So we're trying to work out the kinks in a really realistic and roll up your sleeves way. So hopefully we'll be able to keep you informed on that and tell you a little bit more about that later. Okay, we're ready now. We will be hosting Leonardo da Vinci High School on our campus beginning in 2026, and that will be a great opportunity for us as well. However, we're all aware that Buffalo State cannot survive solely as a regional institution. With the assistance from SUNY, we can expand our outreach into the New York City area and across the state. And increasing our enrollment is a key to the long-term success of this plan that we're going to present to you. And we will be utilizing the generous funds from the Buffalo State Foundation to also help us for scholarships and grants. And these scholarships and grants are essential to help us attract to the students that we want to come here, and also to support the students' needs after they get here. You've heard me say many times, a flat tire can end a Buffalo State student's semester. And the funds that we get through our foundation, they're so generous with us. They help in situations like this, as well as in larger situations for honor scholarships and other things. But it's important that we make sure that whatever we do, however we do it, we make sure that all of our students can be successful. So the foundation does support the needs for books and other college expenses for our students. I have charged the Future Forward Committee. Is Julie Henry here? Where is she? Wave, Julie. I have charged the Future Forward Committee, which is an ad hoc committee of faculty and professional staff that was established by the previous president to assist the president and the college senate with special assignments. So Ken, it's my turn to have them do an assignment for me. And their task is to identify the cohorts of students that we might be interested in, such as veterans, adult students returning to college, individuals aging out of foster care, to name a few. We want them to take a look at those cohorts and many others to determine both their fit for Buffalo State and what financial, social, emotional, and academic needs would be necessary to bring these groups into our campus and assure they are successful. And I thank the committee in advance for what you're going to do for us. This information will be useful as we look to areas that will aid in enrollment growth. So let's go on and talk about retention a little more. Retention will also be a significant part of the enrollment strategy for the campus community. Our retention efforts will continue to be energetic through our Educational Opportunity Program, our Roar to Success program, All College Honors, Say Yes program, and our academic departments. Also, the academic advising structure is being revised to be more holistic, robust, and reach more students. Wraparound services in our health center and programming in our student affairs area are also expanding. Some of this is made possible due to funding from SUNY again for mental health support, for food insecurities, and also, very important to me, is funding so that we can hire our students to work here on this campus so that they do not have to leave this campus to be able to create the money and the resources that they need to sustain themselves through this education. We'd rather have them here in what I always say work, study, okay? So we gotta emphasize that study and give them just a real holistic and real supportive environment to keep them moving forward. Also, it gives us all a chance to create new relationships with new students, keep eyes on them, and make sure that we know if they need help, that we can help them find it. We are also grateful to SUNY for our newest support program, Access to College Education. I don't see, where's Jude? There's Jude. It's called ACE here at Buffalo State. This has been a proven model for student success at other higher education institutions and when implemented. And we are excited to be one of SUNY's campuses to bring the ACE program online for our students. Additionally, I have charged the talented individuals in the Professional Staff Caucus with the task of identifying and recommending to me our best retention initiatives. If there are areas where there is need to create, enhance, or expand them, we want to know that. We may be doing some things that are not working and don't serve our students. We need to know that as well. These recommendations will be very useful as we further strengthen our overall enrollment strategies. Hold on just a second, right there. I have to tell a story. So in my house growing up, my grandmother always lived with us. And Saturday morning was the morning that everybody got up and did some work in the house. Didn't matter how old you were, how young you were, everybody got an assignment. Our collective goal was to get that house ready so that on Sunday afternoon, my grandmother could host her friends after church with dinner and a nice environment. So close your eyes and picture yourself in my grandmother's house. Everybody has a role as we move forward with this sustainability plan. If you can't figure out what yours is, call me and I'll give you an assignment, okay? So we are all in. This is something that we have to do. We all have to be part of preparing ourselves to welcome our guests, our new students, to Buffalo State and make sure that they are nourished, they are well fed academically as well as physically, and they have what they need to succeed. Okay, I'm ready now. They should know I'm never going through this just the way the program is. We are reviewing our current academic offerings under the leadership of our provost with the deans, department chairs, and faculty in some areas to determine which majors, which programs, concentrations, and certificates no longer serve the needs of our current and future students. We are also looking at programs that have potential to attract students, but may need some reorganization or retooling, or possibly some collaborations in order to deliver the desired outcomes. Finally, we will take advantage of the emerging needs of the community, region, and state to determine where the academic strengths of our university and the capacity for new programs align. So through internal collaborations, through grants, consolidations, community partnerships, we will be able to offer a first-class compilation of educational offerings. One such example can be found in the master's program for applied behavioral analysis. Kathy, is she in the room? I don't see her. Well, at any rate, I'll tell you a little bit about it. Our School of Exceptional Education, in our School of Department of Exceptional Education, they identified a pressing need in our community and recognized that there was only one regional competitive program in ABA, and they were charging a private school tuition. So rather than go it alone, we launched our program in partnership with the Summit Center. Summit Center provides services to children and adults with autism and other developmental, social, and behavioral challenges, and through a private grant from the Children's Gill Foundation. Now, this innovative program and approach, and this tripartite collaboration, has grown in less than 2 years from no students to 29 students. So we're on a good path there. We can do this other places as well. This is just one example. This is how we can meet the needs of our community and create new enrollment growth opportunities. Now, we have identified 37 degree programs, certification titles, concentrations, minors, and certificates to be deactivated and discontinued. To date, 27 of those have been vetted through our university processes and have either completed or are in review at the SUNY and state levels. And additional programs are under review, and those will be acted on this spring, 2024. An additional 10 programs are also in that same review path and pipeline for deactivation in spring 2025. I think, is there a slide that says that, or do we have that in the? So when we will give you the entire speech, all the programs, all the links, as soon as I'm finished talking, Markham? Okay. We'll have it up on the website so that you can look at all these programs, and it'll be there for everyone to review. As I mentioned earlier, this process has been undertaken collaboratively. That's the code word of the day, collaboration, through our shared governance partners, and it will be implemented in a transparent fashion. If you all haven't figured out anything about me yet, know that I'm telling you everything I got. If I know it, you know it. And so transparency is also very important. That's the culture we enjoy here at Buffalo State. And it will be the key to successfully implementing this plan. Now, I know you want to know about the students in these 37 programs. There are 34 of them across the 37. That's 0.6% of the student population. They're already enrolled somewhere along the path, and they will be able to complete their programs over the next 2, 3, 4 years, depending on where they are in the program, and they will be able to complete it with their existing faculty. So as far as we're concerned, we know that we have to look at lower enrolled programs. We know we have to use that strategy in some way to help adjust our workforce, but we keep atop of everything else our commitment to our students. So these students will not be affected in any way other than just to get graduated out of the programs. Now, we won't be admitting new students to the program, but we will teach out, I guess you can say, the students that are in the program. Now, to further explain our thinking and process, let me use a couple of examples. If there are students who are interested in studying languages that we discontinue, they can do so through the SUNY Online Foreign Language Consortium, and the credit will be applied back to their Buffalo State degree. So from their advisors and from their department, they'll be able to make that happen. We're also exploring the possibility of working with our Small Business Development Center and our Continuing Professional Studies Department and collaborating with community partners to learn how some of our discontinued programs can be offered as community learning activities as a fee-based enterprise. In some of our discontinued programs, we not only have faculty, but we got a lot of equipment and a lot of space. And if we can figure out how to convert that into maybe a micro-credential or some other kind of certification, or maybe there's just a bunch of folks, like some of my girlfriends, who want to learn something in the summer and do a 2-week, 3-week program. We think that we can look at some of those areas and generate some revenue while we maintain the programs in some form. They just won't be credit-bearing. We must aggressively address reducing our overall operating costs. Let me repeat that. We must aggressively address reducing our overall operating cost. And as I mentioned earlier, this must be a university-wide project. The example of looking at departments who may be oversubscribed with personnel to fill vacancies in departments who are understaffed needs to be more broadly and widely investigated and implemented. So just because someone leaves and you have a vacancy, I'm gonna say, and I'm saying this to all my cabinet members, first step, let's look and see who we have in our existing workforce that may be a good fit to fill that vacancy. And we will do some consolidation of departments also to achieve both efficiencies and salary savings. That'll be a great benefit to us as well. Our facilities, custodial, and grounds personnel leaders, under the direction of their cabinet member, have presented a proposal that provides the minimum staffing levels needed to maintain our buildings and grounds. We have looked at some external measures and external guidelines, and we have determined in all of those areas what we need minimally to maintain our grounds and our buildings and our facilities. That's where we want them to be maintained. This is especially helpful to manage the workforce in this high turnover area. We are also reviewing our personnel structures to determine how to optimize our current workforce of talent to best serve our students. Now, let me just say this. This is not just focused on academic affairs. I know you'll hear a lot in press and other places about faculty and majors and those kinds of things. But at Buffalo State, it's not just about academic affairs. Yes, we know our faculty delivers our core enterprise, but there are also a host of additional staff needed to provide the support that our students need to succeed. So this is an all-institution endeavor. We are leaving no stone unturned, and we are looking at how we can best develop and maximize the workforce that we will need for the future while keeping a close eye on overall expenses, overall operating expenses. I'll give you one example. We have been able to reassign a financial aid staff member who has extensive skills and comparable expertise to the student accounts area where there was a need to fill a recently vacant position. So we have some similar skill sets in different areas that we can use. So I want to thank publicly, and I did ask her if I could do this before I'm doing it, Stephanie Kinzia, for making that move to support the university in this important way. But please know, oh, I'm sorry, I messed up. Now you may also say this is one person. You know, one person, one position. But please know that we are considering each position and each individual as decisions are made. After all, this is not just an exercise in numbers. We cannot succeed without adding humanity and respect to our decisions. So please understand that those are watchwords for us. We're looking at individuals as well as positions. The task we face with our structural deficit is to balance the workforce and to increase and stabilize our enrollment. While enrollment declined, our workforce the enrollment decline happened, our workforce didn't adjust. We just didn't adjust the workforce to our new reality. So we must carefully address each of these areas simultaneously. While we increase enrollment, we need to create the workforce that's needed to serve our students. As mentioned earlier, our plan is to address the deficit cannot be achieved just through attrition. We agree with the Budget and Staff Allocation Committee of the Senate, who recommended that in addition to attrition, we must proactively reduce our workforce in our administration, instruction, and other non-instruction areas. So for these reasons, the 12-month rolling hiring freeze will be continued. In that hiring freeze, 20% of the salary savings can be used to backfill the position for the first year. The rehire rate, ultimately after the 12 months is expired, is 40%. So we are expecting supervisors to look at the duties and functions of the personnel in their area carefully before moving forward with a hire after the 12-month period. Our phased retirement program will also continue. Just roll down a little more for me. Our phased retirement program will also continue. This program provides an opportunity for a phased approach to retirement, allowing employees to transition out into retirement gradually with a reduction in workload or obligation and a commensurate reduction in pay. The program is voluntary and is optional, and in each instance, the supervisor and the cabinet member, all up the chain, will agree on the conditions of the program. The program details, including eligibility requirements, the application, and the intent to resign for retirement template are available on the Human Resource Management website. And eligible employees should discuss the program with their chair or the head of their department. Participation in the program is subject to review and approval of the president. Come down a little more for me, Jeff. Okay. I would like to thank our UUP leadership, I see Fred, wave Fred, at Buffalo State for their willingness to conduct workshops on the phased retirement plan for their members. So there is some sense that maybe everybody doesn't know about it or doesn't understand it, and UUP has graciously agreed to conduct those workshops for their members. We cannot build a successful future without our partners in labor, and I appreciate them being a part of this discussion. After extensive review and consultation with our BSAC committee, our Senate and SUNY, and our foundation board, I am very pleased to announce that Buffalo State will implement a voluntary separation program. That's a retirement incentive, okay? That's what I call it. They have a different name for it. Now, this recommendation came from BSAC. It's being fully funded, let me repeat that, fully funded by our foundation board. So I want to express my thanks to BSAC for their thoroughly thoughtful recommendations, and our tremendous appreciation and gratitude goes to the Buffalo State Foundation Board for providing the support needed to launch this program. The VSP will be open to all full-time, retirement-eligible SUNY Buffalo State employees. The specific details of the program will be announced by email immediately following this presentation. So you want me to hurry up and get done. So, in conclusion, here I am. Rest assured that Buffalo State University is committed to ensuring its financial sustainability while maintaining high-quality educational experiences for its students. I am confident in the university's ability to overcome its current challenges and achieve its strategic vision. Again, I express gratitude to New York State executive and legislative branches and SUNY for their support. I also send appreciation and gratitude to our University Council, our Foundation Board, our Senate, our Professional Staff Caucus, and the entire Buffalo State family for your grit, your commitment, and your belief in this institution. We unequivocally believe in Buffalo State University. I want to thank you all for joining us today. There is a grab-and-go lunch as I finish. You know, everything goes better with a little food. Please enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Onward and upward. Thank you.